Hey everybody, it's the Burger Dude, and today I want to show you how I make a McMuffin like McDonald's, but vegan and way better. And not only that, but I want to show you all a few different ways to make this, as we're going to go over some different options for vegan eggs, sausage, and even English muffins. From store-bought to homemade, so feel free to mix and match the different variations to your liking. And with that, let's get it going. So let's start with the English muffins, and in my experience, most English muffins are vegan. I know the Thomas ones aren't, but it always is good to do your due diligence and check the back for the ingredients, but these ones are vegan as far as I know. We're also going to make some English muffins from scratch, and I'm using a recipe by Joshua Weissman, but I'm veganizing it, so more on that later. As far as the egg, we have our Just Egg, which is one of my favorites. They've also got this folded egg, which is even easier to make. But if you don't want to use these products, or if you don't have access to them, we're also going to go ahead and employ our good friend tofu for the egg. I'll show you a cool trick with that. And then for the sausage, we have these Gardein breakfast sausage patties, which are pretty good, as well as these Beyond Meat sausage patties. These ones are probably my favorite because they're spicy, and I do like things spicy. You could also use some Beyond sausage. We're just going to mash that into a patty, or you could take some Beyond beef and then season it so that it tastes like breakfast sausage, which is one of my favorite things to do as well. And then last but not least, we've got some TVP, and we're going to go ahead and make some breakfast sausage on our own with this. But first, let's do the quick and easy route. This one you can whip up in about 10 minutes or so. Now, the only problem with this route is, as you're going to see right here, the Beyond sausage doesn't quite match up with the English muffin. You're going to get a bunch of bites without any meat, and that is no good. I mean, just look at this. I mean, how sad is that? Look at that. Ugh, the worst. But the good news is there's a very simple solution to this, and all you need to do is let your sausage thaw out so that it's nice and soft, and then take two of them and mash them together into one big patty, just like that. Pretty dang perfect, huh? But if you're like me, and if you like to get your patty as perfect as possible, then get a burger press with some parchment paper, and then you're gonna press it down, and you're gonna get a perfect sausage patty that's gonna match up perfectly with your English muffin. I'm trying to see how many times I can say the word perfect. Look at that. Totally perfect. So after that, get some butter in a pan. We're gonna grill up our English muffins. We're gonna add our Beyond sausage patty, as well as our just folded egg, and this is it. Now you just gotta grill stuff up and get it heated through. Give that a flip. Now there is a little bit of a trick, because McDonald's does put the cheese on the bottom English muffin, and we do want to get that melted because, in my opinion, there's almost nothing worse than unmelted cheese on a breakfast sandwich. So what we're gonna do is put that sausage on top of the cheese like that. That's gonna help it melt. And then we're gonna add a little bit of water to the pan and then immediately cover to steam and melt that cheese perfectly. And let's see what that looks like after a minute or so. Yep, melted, just what I thought. And that's it, now you're ready to eat. And I love these things. I probably eat one or two of these a week. They're super easy to put together, super quick, as you can see here, and they're phenomenal. They're just so dang delicious. I probably would put a little bit of hot sauce on it if I had my druthers, but I wanted to do this traditional to McDonald's, so no hot sauce for now, but we will get into that later. Now, option two, we're gonna do a little bit of a hack, so we can take one of these plant-based Beyond sausages, and we're gonna do the thing where we mash it into a patty like this. And these sausages are seasoned pretty liberally, but if you wanna add more seasoning, then go ahead and do as you like. But for me, they're perfect as is. You could also take some plant-based meat, and what we're gonna do is season this with some sage and some other seasonings such as cayenne, of course, gotta have some cayenne in there, some garlic salt, why not? Smoked paprika, naturally, and then some fennel. You can leave the fennel out if you don't like it. And then some black pepper. And this is gonna be our breakfast sausage patty as well. And this might be my favorite way to do it because you can really tailor it to your own tastes. And there you go. A perfect breakfast sausage patty right there. And so now all that's left to do is grill everything up. And I am going to be using the regular Just Egg, so I have a ring mold because we're going to be making a round egg patty with it. And I'm going to have a little bit of trouble, but you're going to see that everything's going to work out in the end, so don't worry. Normally I do use these tiny little frying pans for this sort of thing, but I wanted to keep everything in one pan for this video. And I also wanted to try out my new ring molds. And as you can see, a little bit leaked out, but it's honestly, it's not really a big deal. And all I'm doing right here is I'm just kind of stirring the egg around, make sure that it all gets kind of cooked through. So just let it sit there for a bit. You can cover it like this if you want to try and cook it through a little bit on the top. Set our English muffins aside, and now I'm going to do something that was risky, but it turned out okay. After a while, I decided I'm just going to give it a flip to try and cook that top part. And bam, look at that. Now, if you don't like your eggs browned like that, then go ahead and flip it earlier. But I do actually like a little bit of caramelization on my eggs. It was pretty dang good. And that was super hot. That's why I was trying to get that little extra flap off. And so I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to get my scissors. And it was a nice little snack right there. And that egg is just about done, so I'm just going to scooch it to the side just to keep it warm while we cook our sausage. And then eventually I just said, you know what, let's just set it aside so we don't overcook it. And then we're going to do the thing where we add some cheese, that whole thing, cover it, melt the cheese, flip the sausage, and then you're basically, bam, look at that, you're done. And this one might have been my favorite. I don't know. It was kind of hard to choose. They're all super good for their own reasons. I do like the way that you can season the sausage to your liking. I think that was my favorite part about this one. And honestly, the texture of the Just Egg with the brown top was super good too. So now we're going to do a mostly homemade one. I'm going to start off with some English muffins that we're going to make based off of a recipe by Joshua Weissman. I'll leave a link in the description for that. But all we're going to do is add some water and some plant-based milk to a bowl with some yeast and let that chill for a little bit. Next, we want to get our flour and I think some sugar and salt. And then we're going to whisk that all together. And then we're going to add in our yeast mixture and some melted vegan butter. And I do think I needed a little bit more milk than what he called for in his recipe. I don't know if that's because it's vegan milk versus, non-vegan milk. But I ended up having to add more later, and I think I over-kneaded it, and they were just a little bit dense, but they were still pretty good. For a homemade first time, pretty dang good. So we're just letting it rise here, and then we're going to punch it out. And then all we need to do next is roll it out onto a cutting board with some flour to make sure it doesn't stick, and then punch it out with some cookie cutters. There you go. And then next what we want to do is let them rest on a cornmeal seasoned baking tray like that. Cover it with an identical baking tray and let those rise for about a half an hour. And then after that, look at that. They got pretty good. Look at that little dude. Not bad. And then after that, all you got to do is grill them in some butter until they're browned on both sides and they're basically done. And yeah, it's a little bit more effort than buying some English muffins at the store, but you know what? It's kind of worth it, and it's kind of cool to make them yourself. And now for the sausage. And this was actually something I did for the first time. It's based off of a recipe by Sauce Stash. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. So we're going to do some TVP, and we're just going to hydrate it with some vegan beef broth. And then all you got to do after that is just stir it up, and we're going to let that hydrate inside of the fridge for about 30 minutes or so. And after 30 minutes, we're going to get it back out, and then we're going to season it up. And experience lets me know that when you're going to do something like this, you should probably have a bigger bowl. So I'm transferring it to a bigger bowl. And I poured in a little bit too much molasses. You want maybe like a teaspoon or so, because it is very strong. And then next we want to add in some coconut oil for the fat. And I didn't melt it. I wanted to get these like kind of little fat chunks in there. See those little pearls of coconut oil? And then after that, we just want to season it with basically the same kind of seasonings we used before, with the sage and the cayenne and the smoked paprika and garlic salt and all that sort of good stuff. Of course, the fennel that I love. And then give that a mix. And now the next thing we got is the magic ingredient, the methyl cellulose. This is what's going to hold it all together and bind it so it doesn't fall apart and become a crumbly mess. So add that methyl cellulose. I'll leave a link in the description for that too if you want to do some more research into it. And then we're just going to add in a little bit of water until it starts to come together, and it's going to resemble ground beef. And it's going to make it very, very easy for us to form it into patties. But first, we need to refrigerate it for 30 minutes. And in the meantime, let's get our tofu egg together. So press your tofu. I do recommend getting a tofu press. It makes your life a lot easier. We're going to punch out a circular shape like that and then slice it into 3 egg patties. Just like that. Take your time. Don't rush it. And then, this is a little trick I like to do. I'll get a plate with some nutritional yeast and some garlic salt. I forgot my black salt, but put black salt down there too if you like. And then you just coat the top, and that's going to add a nice little flavor and a nice little color. And there you go. We pressed our TVP sausage. And so now it's basically the same thing as all the other ones. You just grill everything up in the pan with some oil. And then once you're done, there we go. Look at that. That's our mostly homemade vegan Egg McMuffin. And what I really loved about this one was that TVP sausage. It was a really cool thing to put together. I really loved that you can just season it however you like. And as you can see here, I had some leftover, and just store it in the fridge, and you can just form it into a patty and make another sandwich anytime you like. Or you could totally just make a bunch of sandwiches all at once, put them in some foil and freeze them, and then you can microwave them in the morning and have a quick, easy, on-the-go breakfast sandwich anytime you want. All right, so the last one is how I actually make them when I make these for myself. I'm gonna make a sauce first because I like a lot of sauce on my sandwich. So we're gonna start off with some vegan mayo and some hot sauce. Two kinds of hot sauce, actually. El Yucateco and Valentina. Those are my two favorites right now, and I like to combine them together to make that super awesome sauce right there. And then you get an English muffin, and you just give it a good old slather in that sauce, and then a hash brown. That's right. That is how you level that up. Then we've got our seasoned meat, cheese, the folded egg because it's easy to cook up, some more of that sauce, and then that top English muffin. And that is the Burger Dude way of making one of these McMuffins. And I'm looking at this, and man, that thing is so frickin' perfect. The hash brown really elevates it. You know what I mean? It adds just another dimension. And if you've never tried it, I highly recommend it, as per usual. And there you go. Vegan Egg McMuffin, done 4 ways. Choose your own adventure on this one, and let me know how it goes. And I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you next week.